Welcome back to Whiskey Adventure. I'm Matt.
I'm Vincent.
And I'm Rob.
And today we are reviewing a blackened bottle. This is a collaboration with Willet. And this is a Kentucky straight rye finished in Madeira casks. And this is 54.8% ABV or 109.6 proof. Oh, it's right there. I was doing the math when it's right fucking there. I need a coaster for this. So yeah, this is rumored to be 6 to 8 year cask strength Willet rye. And Rob says that he really enjoys the cask strength Willet rye. So we're I figured we'd do this bottle since it sounds like something you like. He said he doesn't enjoy the prices of them, but he likes the whiskey itself.
It's a love-hate relationship with Willet. For anybody who's had the opportunity to buy Willet, even at MSRP, they are very expensive when you get into their upper age dated offers.
Yeah. So I mean, considering what I paid for this, I got a pretty good deal on it considering the circumstances. But at the same time, I've had this pour several times. Doesn't look like I have, but I have, I promise. And I'm happy with what I paid for it. I think I paid the right price. I think if I paid more, I'd be a little upset. But it's also not my preferred rye profile. But with that said, let's get into it. Let's check out the nose.
Will it break the celebrity curse of whiskey?
It smells nice, right?
It does. That is very
Got
pleasant.
Some confectionery sweetness. A little grassy.
Do you know if this is a 95.5 rye?
I don't. I would guess so based on the nose.
Yeah, it's got that rye spice right up in the front.
Yeah.
But then there's this sweet, and it's probably the Madeira that's giving that sweet, sugariness to it. The wine.
It's not a heavy Madeira finish. It's very much just kind of like the general sweetness from Madeira. It's not like if you're doing this blind, I don't think you would guess that it was Madeira finished at all. So.
For me, the fruit notes that are probably coming from Madeira are so much darker, borderline kind of cooked.
Right. Yeah, stewed, like stewed strawberry or something like that.
But it blends with this rye spice pretty well.
Yeah, it does.
I think I get a little bit of a little dilliness too, but it's like a fresh dill, like the actual dill plant. It's not like a dill pickle.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm getting that same thing too. Right about the mid nose.
Yeah. You seem like you're enjoying the nose at least.
Not too bad to start. When I hear celebrity branded whiskey, I've had pretty bad experiences.
Yeah.
Heaven Door's okay. I don't know if you guys have
yes,
tried
I have Heaven Door. It's been good.
The Bob Dylan one's pretty good. I have not tried. Have you guys tried? Was it not Rihanna? It was Beyonce.
I haven't had it. Sir Davis.
Yeah, Sir Davis.
I unfortunately, I have. It wasn't really that great.
No.
I
mean, I've heard that
it wasn't that impressive.
Decent.
It wasn't that impressive.
Price is the problem.
Exactly.
Right?
Now, I've heard some finishes on it have been pretty good.
Okay.
So
by the way, this is when he's talking celebrity whiskey, this is Metallica. And I'm a massive Metallica fan. Really the only reason I play guitar is because of Metallica. So I don't think that has anything to. I don't think that gives me any sort of bias towards this product.
No, but what I've heard with the Metallica one though is that the way they age it is that they play the music in the rick house.
Yes, they play the Metallica music while they're aging it, which supposedly does make a difference. I don't know. It definitely makes a difference with plants. I don't know about whiskey, but
that's why we're here to find out.
Yeah,
it would be interesting to know what they play because there is science around resonance frequency.
Some of them do have the playlist that they did with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you could find the resonance of the barrels, which I would imagine would be a frequency very, very low, and you could vibrate the barrels in a way because of the resonance frequency so that they're oscillating, you could agitate the aging process a little bit.
All I'm saying is if you could take a whiskey and then age it to Orion playing in the background, it'd probably be one of the best fucking whiskeys of all time,
Yeah, that would be up there.
The warehouse workers are probably happy.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the ballot here. It's a pretty good
Pretty
rye.
good. Very cinnamon forward.
I do get that dilliness to it.
You get a little bit of dill mid-palate back.
Again, you don't get too much of that Madeira. It's just kind of like a general sweetness.
But the sweetness, I'm just so fascinated when I have 95.5s. A lot of the 95.5s I've had have been MGP.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some Willet 95.5s.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, they're so grassy.
Yeah.
And they're all like grass or like green seasoning, like parsley, dill, you bring out, thyme, something that has a really like kind of pungent-y smell, or not pungent-y, but like it doesn't come off as sweet.
I could actually, now that you say that, I could actually see some oregano here.
It just has this very greenness to it, but the
Mm-hmm.
sweetness does not, it doesn't give me that 95.5 sweetness. It's just so sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the Madeira or if that's just the mash bill with the light Madeira finish is kind of accentuating it. Like, it's when you stack sweetness on top of sweetness, it really kind of hits. It's not overpowered sweetness.
No,
it's not.
Definitely not.
That's where I think you said it. It's more accentuating the sweetness in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of flavor in the mid palate that, you guys said dill, it kind of does have whatever the green seasoning you put on kind of different types of cooking, it has that kind of freshness to it.
And that could have that baking spice,
I definitely feel like if this had a heavier Madeira finish, from my personal preference, I would like it even more, but especially right now, I'm obsessed with Madeira finishes. One of the whiskeys that I have coming to me soon is a balcones single malt finished in Madeira.
Nice.
I'm super excited for. That's just like basically a dream port for me, really. So I do wish the Madeira was more impactful here, but at the same time, you don't want a whiskey that's overdone on the finish. So it's well balanced, I would say, at the minimum.
Yeah, the sugar I get from the Madeira, it's kind of a weird feeling. I get the sugar on the side of the tongue, not like directly down the middle. Down the front, or rightly down the palate is all that 95.5 rye, or I think it's a 95.5.
Yeah.
It's very rye. It's very reminiscent of what I've had from my 4 and 8 year Willet ryes. Yeah, where
definitely
they're indistinguishably really like unapologetically rye.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
I mean, I've had I think it was like a hazmat, the one that Jeremy has.
I don't remember.
I think it's like an 8-year hazmat Willet rye.
I don't think he has a rye. Knowing Jeremy has the bourbons.
No, he definitely has a rye for sure.
Okay, then I'm not sure.
Because it's very similar in profile to this. It's just because of the proof. It's just like the sweetness and the intensity is turned up to like 100, But I think this is good. Again, it's not my preferred profile. This is about as vegetal as far as like the oregano and dill as I can go with rye while still enjoying it. So I think they did a good job with blending it in that sort of mindset. But let's add some water to this and see if maybe that, I don't think I've tried this with water yet. So maybe that'll do a little something interesting for us here. But let's see on the nose. Okay, I think
I'm getting a lot more vanilla.
I'm getting less dill, which is a good thing for me at least.
That vanilla for me.
I agree on that vanilla.
It's just coming through nice
vanilla
and
oakiness.
Yes. I mean, it's becoming more of that good, solid, unapologetic bourbon.
Yeah.
It's really started to remind me of like my grandmother's house, where like there's been candles and flowers just kind of sitting there for days.
Okay. Yeah, there's a bit of a floral, like fresh roses.
Fresh roses. I get a little bit of caramel.
Okay. A little bit of confectionery sweetness now as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this smells a lot more closer to my profile for rye than I would say it did before water, but at the same time, it also smells a lot closer to a
bourbon,
a high corn rye. It smells closer to a bourbon than it does a rye now.
Yeah, the note that kind of got diluted for me, because the rye is still there, is that little bit of that sugary, bright sugar fruit from the Madeira. At least I think it's from the Madeira. When we had the nose and taste, there was this bright fruitiness to it, like really, really sweet, like sugar covered fruit that now feels darker.
You know what I'm getting? Strawberry rhubarb.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. The dill is still heavy on the palate, though.
It's coming through a bit more for me.
It's taken quite a bit of step back on the sweetness as well.
So you step back and that dill just came forward.
Yeah. I like this a lot more without water.
I like the nose with water. I like the palate without water.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, this is not giving adding water a good run for its money.
No.
I typically do not like adding water.
Yeah. I wish we could have found a good example of where adding water it does good things, because it does.
It does. It does.
It's probably like 40 to 60% of the time, I would say.
Ooh.
Percent of the time, I would say. Ooh. Did you see that catch?
Yeah, that's a good catch.
Clumsy as fuck, but ninja reflexes.
I have not come across any example in my like.
Do you have the standard Springbank 10-year? Not the cask strength. The stand. Try that with a couple drops of water and let me know what your thoughts are.
The only time I've seen water improve whiskey is when I had like an Old Forester barrel proof that was just too viscous that it needed a lot more than water to kind of really blend it out. But other than that, I mean, typically like these cask strength expressions, like there's just, you know what it is it's not that they're perfect. The water does give you a more gentle approach, but you always lose something, especially when you side by side.
Well, so normally where water is really going to help the most is when you have either something that is extremely high age or extremely heavily finished. So the water is going to bring up the base whiskey more, and it's gonna bring the finish more to the background. So if you have a heavily finished whiskey, it is going to make it a lot more balanced, and so that's where you're going to find something where it's a little bit better with water. Whereas when it's something like this, where it's like the finish is already barely distinguishable. Like I said before, I mean, you probably back us up. If you blinded this, would you guess this was Madeira finished?
It definitely has the hallmarks of the sweetness. I can't claim that my palate's good enough to pick out. I think we all are pretty good at picking out sherry.
Yeah.
Madeira, I've had a few Madeiras where they do surprise me on what comes out. But the water, as you said, it mutes that sweetness on the side of my tongues that I was getting prior to adding the droplets that I'm attributing to that Madeira cask.
Right. All right. So what's your we'll go with without water. What kind of score 0 to 100 would you give this?
Oof.
Yeah.
I haven't
putting you on the spot right now.
On the spot. I tend to break my scores out into 3, front, middle, palate, and then the finish. They're all solid 7s across the board. Like there's nothing objection.
Yeah.
I'm not offended by anything.
Right.
I actually found it to be very, very crushable. It had some surprises.
I mean, it's definitely at that proof point where it's just kind of like a perfect proof point, just about 110. So
yeah, so I'm at a 70. Didn't have anything that really stood out to me as significantly above average. Although parts of the finish were starting to get there. So I was starting to get close to a 7.5 on the finish. So I kind of look at it as like at the minimum, I'm looking at a 70 to 775 for my score. So
when you're going 70, I assume you're probably thinking like C is an average 70%.
I think when I look at 50 as like barely good. Okay. And anything below 50 is bad.
Okay.
And so 51 would be 1 point above passable as acceptable. And this, for me at least personally, drinks much, much better than some of the other celebrity aged whiskeys that I've had.
Yeah, definitely.
And it drinks significantly better than even things. I will say one thing that I had recently that I didn't particularly love was the was one of the ryes that I just had, a Boo Rye, and the Knob Creek Boo Rye, and then the Baker's Rye.
Okay.
These are ones where
was it Baker's Rye or was it High Rye?
The High Rye.
Okay.
The High Rye. Yeah. Okay. Good point. And I would say I would pick this over that. Of course, it's finished. It has that sweetness.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. It is balanced.
Yeah.
Very well for finished Madeira finish.
100%. Yeah. So, for example, so you're saying 50 is barely passable. For us, when we're doing a 50, that's like a this is like a 50 is this is as standard plain whiskey as you can get. So like you're thinking like a Sazerac or like a Rittenhouse or something. So a 70 and above would be a very high score for us. So yeah. So I would probably put this closer to like a 63 to a 65.
I was thinking the same exact range too.
Yeah, I don't think we've given a score higher than a 74 yet. So
wow, you guys are tough.
Yeah, I mean, and the hard thing is trying to remove biases, because like if I was to do a Garrison Brothers, like the double oaked, the Balmoral, I would want to give it something in the 90s, but like ever since I've started doing this whole scoring system, ever since we've started doing this whole scoring system, you know, it's really changed my perspective on like how good a whiskey really can be, you know, because like in the 90s, we're really talking about like the top echelon of what a whiskey can really provide. And so if you're scoring for us, if you're scoring the 70s, that's a very good whiskey,
shit.
You know.
I won't deny that this is a very good whiskey, though.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So, okay, so on that note, sorry to interrupt, but on that note, how much would you pay for this bottle?
Well, yeah, value as a score, it does change things quite a bit when you consider it. I would say this to me is an $80 whiskey.
That's about what I paid for. So, and I agree 100%.
It is a, you know, when you think about like finished whiskeys in the $80 range, you know, I've had like, let's take the Thomas S. Moores. Those are in the $60 to $50 range. Yeah. Those are always so flawed. Like the base bourbon's flawed. You're getting dryness, tanniness, over finished. And then, you know, there's pleasantries to them. They're sweet. They have some fun experiences. Yeah. But they're not this. This is significantly more elevated than this.
And for reference, this MSRP, when it was released, I think it was released in 2021. This was actually $150, I believe. It's not that. It's definitely not that. And that's why I said at the start of this video, I'm happy with what I paid for it. It's around that $80 range. I don't think it's worth much more than that.
Would you drink this though? Would you like go, you know, you have your shelf of whiskeys. Would you come back to this bottle?
I come back to it pretty frequently. I mean, again, you can't tell, like when I'm drinking at a home by myself, I'm doing maybe quarter ounce pours, you know, because I want to try a bunch of different things. There's some nights where I go through literally every single style of whiskey. I'll go through Japanese, Scotch, American single malt, bourbon, rye, Irish. I'll do it all in a single night, but they're all quarter ounce pours, you know. So that's how I do things. I really do a large pour of a single bottle specifically. But I think this video has gone on pretty long. So we should, you know, this has been kind of it's a review of this bottle, but it's also just kind of a general.
In general, it's a good discussion on the other guest star with it. So
yeah, exactly. So
challenging always.
Yeah. If you guys want to join our adventure parties, if you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe down below. That way you guys can catch us on any more adventures we have on in the future. But until then,
we hope you join us on the next quest.
Yeah.